Leora, so good to see you. Welcome to Bourbon and BS. How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm very excited to be here and talking BS with you. Looking forward to it.
Hey, we're about to BS a bunch. All right, let's get into the BS. You know, as the normal process goes in Bourbon and BS, we talk about what we're drinking. So let me share with you. I am doing what's called a Sazerac rye, which is a
Mm.
beautiful rye. It's probably one of the smoothest ryes you can have. I have these little golden ice cubes in here that keep it cool. And it's delicious. And I recommend it for anyone that likes any kind of bourbon or rye at all. Sazerac is the best. If you've been to New Orleans, have you been to New Orleans,
I
Leora?
have not. Have not.
When you go there, the Sazerac bar, check it out. It's
Well,
amazing. The drinks are perfect no matter what you order, but especially when you order a Sazerac drink, they have something special. So check it out. What are you drinking?
I am drinking Woodford Reserve on the rocks.
I
I
like
usually
it.
drink it. I usually drink it neat, but it's hotter than Hades out here in Central California, so I need a little bit of ice.
Really? What when you say what was the temperature today?
93. It just will not cool down here. It's just nuts.
What are
Yep.
you guys expecting? Like when do you expect it to cool down?
Well, it's my first time here in California. I moved out here in February, so I'm being told that it cools down about November.
November. Okay. And where'd you come from? Where'd you move?
Chicago.
Chicacago.
Yeah,
Can I tell you something? That is my favorite city in the entire country outside of winter.
I love Chicago, and we actually really miss it, but we don't miss the winters, and we're looking forward to having a nice, cool, calm winter out here in California. But I'm bummed that we're not going to Chicago for annual in
I
a couple of
know.
weeks because I was really looking forward to hitting all of those touristy traps that I avoided when I was living there. So I still haven't done a lot of the usual stuff you do when you visit Chicago, but we'll make it back there to visit for sure because it really is an amazing city,
It
especially in the
really
summer.
is. And
Yeah.
it has, and most people don't know this, but you could verify this. Most people don't know that there's a beach in Chicago.
There's several beaches.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
We
it's
we actually lived not too far from one. Montrose Beach was only 2 miles away from our house, and we were there several weekends in the summer. And it really feels like you're on the ocean because Lake Michigan is just so massive. You actually get waves and you get currents that come in, and it's a lot of fun. Yeah, we miss it, but we're only 2 hours away from the ocean here too. So
hey,
you know,
I must say you traded up. You
yeah,
traded.
I think so.
Cheers to that. Cheers to
Yeah,
that.
cheers.
There you go. So look, let's jump into some things. First of all, typically we ask a bunch of questions and we get right into it. But my first question is going to be about your background. I'm seeing a lot of activity back there. I need
Yeah.
to understand what we're looking at. So let's start first. Hold on. Let's start first. I'm going to ask a lot of questions. This is going to be great for everyone that's watching. I see things over your left shoulder that look like little bottles, or what is that? Glasses? What is that?
So my husband used to work at the Alamo Draft House, which is a movie theater chain that originated in Texas. It's a boutique theater chain. They do a lot of really cool stuff. They have a strict no talk, no text policy. You can order food and drinks right at your table. And he was a creative director for the one out in Virginia where we used to live. And they have a close collaboration with a company called Mondo. And Mondo puts out really cool cinema inspired movie posters and collectible glassware. So that's what all of that is. It's like Force Awakens. It's all like a lot of the MCU, the Marvel MCU stuff.
Yeah.
We got lots of, I got some the Minion movie. I got all kinds of stuff back there, and then it kind of continues on throughout the house. We have a ton of Mondo posters. We're big movie fans. So
Okay. All right. So let's go there. Hold on. What was the last movie you watched? Like a blockbuster movie you guys watched?
blockbuster movie. When was the last time we were at a theater? I don't even
Oh,
know.
okay.
My husband sits right across from me, so I'm looking at him right now, and
Is
I
he
don't
here?
remember
Is he there right now?
he is here right now. He's watching
Okay.
me and shaking his head and smiling. He's like another podcast. So,
Tell your husband this is not another podcast.
it is
This
not
is
another
Bourbon and
podcast.
BS.
Yeah, that's right. So I'd say the last blockbuster movie we saw was The Joker. We just saw it a couple of weeks ago on
So good.
Netflix, and man, oh man, do you need a drink after watching that
Oh
one?
my gosh.
It was
That's a
brutal.
serious movie.
It's yeah, I mean, and Joaquin Phoenix is a phenomenal actor,
Oh
but
my
man, it
gosh.
just leaves you feeling hollow at the end. Today I just watched Enola Holmes, which is a new Netflix movie starring the girl from Stranger Things, Millie
Yes, yes,
Bobby
yes.
Brown. Yeah, yeah, really, really cute movie. So
Yeah. Is that like a family movie?
I would say it's a family movie. She plays the sister of Sherlock Holmes. I won't give too much away, but
Oh my
it's
goodness,
it's
I'm ready to
really
watch that. I saw the commercial. I
it's
can't wait.
really, yeah, it's really cute. I just watched it today. It's just an adorable movie, and it has a really great central theme about the bond between a mother and a daughter. So it's
Oh, so cool.
I did cry a little bit, but there's a lot of good laughter. She does a lot of fourth wall breaks, which is really cool, but not too much because that can get exhausting. Think Deadpool, but but it's a good movie. You should check
Let
it
me
out.
ask you this. So you're flicking through channels, and what is the movie that will make you stop flicking through channels and go, I'm watching that? What is the one movie that if it comes up, you're stopping everything and you're watching?
Any Star Wars movie. My husband's a
Really?
humongous Star Wars fan. I wasn't
Okay.
as big of a fan as he is, but I'm getting there. Any of the Lord of the Rings movies. We're giant nerds, as you can tell. Any of the Marvel movies, Napoleon Dynamite, which is a guilty pleasure of mine. And then, any of the what's his name? God, I'm terrible. I'm
Your
terrible
husband
with
is right there
actor
asking for
names.
help.
I know the Step Brothers, Will
Oh, yeah,
Ferrell.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
That one cracks me
What's his
up.
name?
And John C. Reilly.
John
Yeah,
C. Reilly. There you go.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
You,
Those are
you,
just some of them.
so if you're flicking through channels, you're like, oh my goodness, Step Brothers is on. Stop the press. I'm
Mm-hmm.
watching.
Mm-hmm.
I love that. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
with you. You know, the movie, it used to be, so growing up, probably between the ages of 18 to about 27, 28, it was about, what's it called? Oh my goodness, how did this just come out of my head right now? Um, oh, man, I can't believe I just lost it. This is going to be great. Great for
Oh,
conversation. I know I'm gonna lose it. It is the big movie that it's based really. It's with the Scottish. Oh, come on, you know what I'm
you got
talking
to give me
about.
more than
Oh,
that. You got to
I
give me more
know.
than
What's
that.
his?
No.
Oh, I'm gonna. So here's the thing. I'm gonna find it, and we're gonna make sure we cover it before the end of this.
Okay.
This was a movie with not Kevin Costner, but what's his name? Um, Freedom. The guy that screamed "Freedom" at the end of the movie.
Oh, that's not Kevin Costner. That's Mel Gibson.
Mel Gibson. What's the movie though?
What's the name of it? That Irish
Braveheart.
movie?
Braveheart.
Braveheart. Is
Braveheart.
that the one? I'm asking him. He's just looking.
Yeah.
The Scottish one.
Yeah.
He's
See.
laughing.
See. So,
Oh my goodness.
don't laugh at us.
It's fine.
Braveheart was a movie. I could literally be out the door to go do something that's important, and if that was on, I'd be calling people to cancel. I'm like, I'm not gonna make it because that would literally bore me to stop. Okay, so we got the glasses behind you. Now
Yep.
let's move to the other side. What is happening on the? What is all that?
So at the very top is my certified mortgage banker plaque so I got my certified mortgage banker designation from the MBA last year. So I got that in Austin at the MBA annual.
Congrats.
And this is my most recent one here. I was selected as one of Housing Wire's 2020 Women of Influence. So,
I remember
and
seeing that.
yeah, and I got a couple more coming. They're not here yet. So I'm not
Oh,
trying to be all braggy about it, but I legit don't know where I'm going to put them.
hey,
Because I've
listen,
kind of run out of room.
we're just BSing.
We're
It's
just
all
BSing.
good.
It's
All right,
still
so
it's
Sal,
still very hard for me to talk about it because I don't want to be braggy and I'm not that kind of person. So,
Leora, you know this by now that the industry loves you. This is what everyone gives you every time they see you. They do.
I love
They
it.
do.
I
We
love it.
all love you.
And I love this
So
industry. You
it's
guys are
not
stuck
bragging.
with me.
That's right. We're stuck with you. You're stuck with us. So let me ask you this. This is a very complicated question. This is a big question. Pancakes, French toast, waffles. What do you go with?
French toast.
French toast. Now,
Oh,
are
yeah.
you doing that with, tell me how you dress it up.
Well, I actually just recently went full keto. So I'm not doing any breads or anything like that anymore. I was actually just
Okay.
recently diagnosed with diabetes. So I've gone full keto, watching my sugars and all that. But when I indulged in
Nice.
French toast, I would do it up with tons of whipped cream and powdered sugar and strawberries or
Oh,
bananas. And I like to do the cinnamon swirl French toast. I make it super bougie. So I just dress it up with everything. It's got to be like 1,200 calories or I'm not happy. So
bougie. I like it. I
bougie.
like
Yep.
it. We do our So bougie. I like it.
Well, it have to
Our
because that's a
video
French
editor
word, right?
something fun. That's exactly right. It's the most important meal of the day. We got to make it
That's right.
bougie. Why
Yep.
wouldn't we make it bougie? Let me ask you this question. This is a completely off the wall, separate topic. Um, do you play any instruments? Is there any musical like instruments that you play or have ever played?
I do not play any instruments. I have never played any instruments aside from the, the required recorder thingy when you're in junior
At
high and
school?
stuff. Yeah. But I would like to say that I'm a pretty good singer. So I am a very musical person. Music is something that's very important to me. I'm very passionate about it. It's my escape. It's my inspiration. It's what gets me going through bad days, good days. And I just absolutely love to sing. And I was a competitive singer when I was younger. Competed in competitions and, was,
Like where?
got all the
Where'd you?
letters. I mean, once I joined the army, that was something that I couldn't really do anymore. But when I was in high school, I would go to competitions, state and national level competitions. So, yeah.
So I must know. Okay. So you are in the car and a song comes on that you love. Do you break out? I mean,
Oh
do you
yeah.
just get it? You do,
Oh
right?
yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, I enjoy driving alone because that's when I can sing without people giving me crap, without my daughter saying, "Could you please stop? You're embarrassing me." Um, and so I enjoy commuting sometimes because it gives me 45 minutes to, I can sing Phantom of the Opera or I'll sing some Mariah Carey or, I'll grunge out to some Hole, just it really depends, what I'm in the mood for. But I love it. And I do it in the shower too. I don't care.
I love that. Okay, American Idol calls you tomorrow and says, "Hey, you are lucky. If you sing, you will be moved into the final round." What song do you sing?
I would sing Alone by Heart.
Alone by
Hmm.
Heart. Nice. That's
Yeah.
I honestly I don't know what that is, but it sounds like it's something you would be able to crush.
If I had had a
So
few
your
more of
husband.
these, I might even build a few tunes, but nope, not going to happen.
So watch this. We're gonna put your husband on the spot. Can he hear my voice?
He can't hear you because I've got my AirPods on.
You got AirPods in. Oh, I was gonna
Yeah.
ask him, what was the last song you sang for him?
The last song I sang for him,
See if he knows.
I mean, we used to do karaoke, but it's been so long. I don't know. I mean, I used to do karaoke a lot, like every single weekend. And one of my trademark songs I would sing is Kiss by Prince.
Okay, nice. So
So
he's heard that
sometimes I
song.
would, oh, he's heard me sing that song for sure.
I
For
love
sure.
it.
And there's actually a couple of videos on Facebook floating around with me singing it. So yeah,
Hey, we may want that link. We may want you to send that
I
over.
think it's gone. I think it's been deleted. So
Oh, we may want to repost it. So let's take a different approach. What's interesting is you went from Chicago to California. And so if you had a choice right now to teleport, right? I came over and dropped the teleport machine in your house and you could teleport anywhere for the next month. Where would you want to go?
for a month,
For a month.
for a month, I would, I don't know if I could do Paris for a whole month because I've never been there. That might be too much.
Wow.
But
Mm,
I would go back to DC because I lived in DC for 5 years and absolutely loved it.
really?
Yeah. Oh
If
yeah.
if you do that, call me up. I'm an hour from DC. I'm in Maryland.
Oh,
So
you are?
so
I actually, I used to live in Ashburn, Virginia, and I used to work in Fairfax. So, loved it out there. We miss it a lot. So if I had a month, that's what I would do. And, if it was a little bit less, then Paris would be in the mix. So yeah.
I like that though. So let me ask you this, because it's interesting that you chose DC, because DC for most people feels very overwhelming. The
Hmm.
traffic patterns, the busyness of it. What about DC do you miss?
Our friends, we still have a ton of friends out there. I didn't find it overwhelming. I didn't find the traffic bad. I got really good at taking the metro. I just, being in the military before, I have a very deep affinity for American history, and there's just so many amazing things to see in DC, and it still blows me away every time I get off the metro at Metro Center and I walk to the National Mall and I see the Washington Monument or I see the Supreme Court building. It just blows me away. And it's still like when I lived there, it would still be like, I can't believe I get to live here and get to experience this every time I want to go to DC. I just hop on the metro and I go check things out. And it's just, I don't know, we loved it out there. Northern Virginia is a great place to live. It's a great place to raise children, and we still have a lot of deep connections there. So I wouldn't be surprised if in a future time we move back, because we really all do miss it a bunch.
I love how much of a traveler you are. I mean, you've mentioned DC, Chicago. I believe well, you said something else too. I think a second ago.
So I've lived in Michigan. I lived in, Virginia. I grew up in Colorado.
Yeah,
And I lived in Vegas for 4 years in my early 20s. When I was in the military, I was stationed in Texas and Missouri. I lived in Kansas. I've been in all the time zones, and it can get exhausting after a while.
But you've had so many experiences. Most people, I don't know about most, let me not categorize it as most. I just feel like a lot of people just know what they know, and then don't get out of their comfort zone. They don't even want to take the chance of getting out of the comfort zone because it's so safe where they are. And you've been in the military, which, by the way, thank you for your service. You've been in the military. You've been on the East Coast. You've been on the West Coast. You've been in the center of the country. And what I love about you is that you kind of go with the flow. You're not restricted by what's happening in your life. You're like, I'm just going to go with what happens. And by the way, I know your husband can't hear me because I'm in your ears, but you have somebody that supports this kind of travel activity. You didn't find someone that's like, no, this is my house. We live in DC. That's where we're staying. Somebody that supports this concept of being able to travel. I think that's a beautiful thing.
It is, but I also feel incredibly guilty because the job he had in Virginia working for the Alamo was his favorite job of all time because he's so passionate about movies, and he got to curate movies for people to love. And I took him from that to a place that ended up being just a horrible move for our family. Moving to Michigan was all kinds of wrong in every way possible. And so I still deal with that guilt even now, because now I sucked him into the mortgage business and now he's working in the mortgage business. And I'm like, I'm so sorry.
Good time to be in it.
It is a good time to be in it. And he does enjoy the fact that we get our evenings and weekends together, because when he was working in the movies, he was working every night. He was working all the major holidays because that's when the big movies came out. And so he enjoys the 9 to 5 aspect of it, but he hates sitting on his butt in front of a computer. So I'm trying to figure out a way to get him to feel like he's doing more fulfilling things aside from just pushing buttons all day.
Ask your husband this question. This is a question for your husband. Ready? So he's sitting across from you. Ask him this question. Oh, shoot. Okay. When he comes back, I have a question for him. Okay. I'm gonna completely like 180 you. This is a fun question that came up. It came up in like the last 3 episodes maybe, and so we're gonna start asking it because it's so fun. A hot dog, can it be considered a sandwich?
I think it can, because you're putting something between 2 slices of bread or 2 slices of something. So, I mean, is a sub sandwich still a sandwich, even though it's not a traditional slice of bread? Yes, it is. Is a panini still a sandwich? Like yes, it is. So you're putting meat between 2 slices of some kind of bread. So I call it a sandwich.
Even if it's vertical, right? Even if it's like this, it's still a sandwich.
Well, who eats it that way? You eat it this way.
Right, you're right, because most people will turn it and bite it. Like, you know what? You're right. You know what?
I mean, it's
a whole different conversation. But listen, that is a good point. Listen, we will have to get a debate, because if you heard some of the other people from the other episodes, they're like, no way, it's not a sandwich. And I'm like, you know what? It's between 2 pieces of bread, and you eat it with condiments on it. It's kind of a sandwich, even though it's a hot dog.
It's assembled in the same way. It's not a wrap. You're not rolling it. You're just, it's a sandwich.
I'm just saying, Leora, I'm with you. The reason this became a question is because I always wanted to know if people thought the same thing. And most people have looked at me like I'm crazy. it's not a sandwich. Now, if you follow one of the recent episodes, you heard Steven say, if you put it between two pieces of Wonder Bread and you cut it in
Hmm.
half, lay it down, it becomes a sandwich. And I say it's a sandwich either way.
I agree.
Between
100%.
the bread. Leora, we're getting t-shirts made. It says hot dogs are sandwiches.
All right, and I'll be your
We're gonna
first
go with that.
customer. I'm gonna buy one.
That's it. That's it. That's exactly right. Hey,
Love
let's
it.
stick with food because I kind of like this. I kind of like this. So I asked this question recently to someone. I thought it was really interesting. When you go to a restaurant and you get an option, they say, "Hey, you get an entree, and with it you get a soup or a salad."
Hmm.
What do you choose?
It depends on the soup. So, what is the soup du jour? If it's a clam
Yeah.
chowder or like a chicken noodle, I'm down. It also depends on the time of year. If it's the summer, I'm always going to go for a salad. If it's in the winter
Okay,
and I'm looking
good,
for
good,
something
good. Yep.
hearty, then I'll go with the soup. But most of the time, I usually do go with the salad because I'm not a fan of minestrone. I'm not a fan of French onion. I'm a
Tomato or French onion. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
ugh, no, thank you. I'm all about the chicken noodle with the broth, and I love like clam chowder is my all-time favorite soup. So the white, not the
Got
red.
it. So if clam chowder's on the menu, it
I'm
doesn't
getting the
matter. You're
clam
getting it,
chowder.
right?
Yep. Otherwise, it's usually I'm just going with the salad.
Interesting. You know what? I love that answer. That makes perfect sense, especially the season. Somebody answered this similarly. They're like, "Hey, depends on the season. If we're in the winter, I'm probably doing a soup. If it's in the summer,
Hmm.
and they live in California like you, they're going with the salad just because it's a little bit more refreshing, which I think is
Right.
great."
And you have
Now,
something cold and crispy, usually accompanied by a warm hot dish. So,
so did you ever watch the Smurfs, or do you know of the Smurfs?
of course. Yeah, I grew up watching the Smurfs for sure. I didn't watch the movie,
If
no,
you
though I heard it was awful. But
There's many movies, by the way.
oh,
Our
ugh,
kids are, I have an 8-year-old and a 5-year-old, so we've seen all of them.
I'm sorry.
And they always come up with funny names. I know. They've gotten better. They have. I'll give them that.
Okay.
They've gotten really interesting recently. But they always, after the movie, they say, "Hey, I'd be this Smurf or that Smurf." So I want to know if you were a Smurf, what would your Smurf name be?
Oh my gosh.
Hmm.
I'm gonna have to. Okay. Well, can I cuss on this? Can I cuss on this show?
Cool.
I,
Fuck
I would
yes, you
probably,
can.
I'd be the smart ass Smurf. That's me.
Smart ass Smurf.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm literally retired. I'm going to cross it out right now. I'm retiring this question because you've just nailed the best question ever. And if I ever bring it back, it's going to be simply to say we retired this question. I'm literally on my screen. You don't see this, but I'm crossing out the Smurf question because you've just nailed it better than anyone could have nailed it. There's no better answer. Literally, you can't get better than that.
Aw,
That's
thanks.
it. Smart ass Smurf? Are you serious? Like
Yeah.
that's it. That's the best. That's the best
Oh,
one.
my
That's
husband's
the
back
best.
if you wanted to ask that question.
Oh, okay. Hold on a second. Hold on a second. Here we go. I have the question for him. He's a movie guy and TV
He's a
guy.
movie guy
Okay,
and
ask him the
TV guy. Yep.
following question.
Okay.
In a fight,
In
in
a
a
fight,
fight, who would win?
who would win?
Kramer or George from Seinfeld?
Kramer or George? He's a huge Seinfeld fan. We both are. This is
I know. I
amazing.
bet he would be.
Well,
Who would win?
Kramer is taller and has a longer reach, but George would cheat. George wins.
Kramer, did you hear that? Yeah, you heard that?
Kramer would cheat.
Yeah.
I
No,
mean,
well,
George would
no.
cheat. George would cheat.
George would cheat. Yeah, even though Kramer's taller and has a longer reach. That's good. That's good. Yeah, and then George would
That's a
complain
good
about it the
answer.
whole time. That's hilarious. Oh my gosh, I love it.
Best answer ever. I love it. That
Love
was
it.
great. Yes. By the way, tell your husband I agree that Kramer has the reach, but George would find a way to win.
Yep.
That's
By
the way it
all
would go.
means necessary. I'm sure that Art Vandelay would come out at some point. So
Absolutely.
too funny.
I love it. By the way, isn't it interesting how long that show has been off the air since 1997, I think, right? Or
Yeah,
98,
I think yeah,
97?
97, I think was the last episode. Yeah. Yeah.
So 13 years down the road, we're still talking about it and it's still relevant. That's
Absolutely.
all I have to say.
So I have to ask you
It's
a
how
question.
powerful it is. Yeah.
So if you like Seinfeld, do you watch Always Sunny in Philadelphia?
Oh my gosh, I love that show.
Oh,
I love
yay.
it.
I love it too. That's one of my favorites. So,
It's the best. By the way,
yep.
if you guys are tuning into this and you love Always Sunny in Philadelphia, just give us a thumbs up. That's cool. We don't need you to say anything. It's my personal it's actually my wife. My wife is the one that discovered it and brought it to my attention. And then I see Danny DeVito. I'm like, no, Danny DeVito would never do a show like this.
Oh my
Oh
gosh.
my goodness.
There would be
The
no show
character
without
the
Danny
guy plays.
DeVito.
Oh my gosh. It is so hilarious.
Yep.
It is the best. So if you've seen it, our editors will put a link to it. It is truly one of the funniest shows ever. Is there still
So do you,
I haven't watched it recently. Is it new episodes
oh,
coming out or no? They're done.
I think that they've had to delay the next season, which I believe is season 14, which is absolutely insane.
Yes.
The show's been on for almost 14 years. I think they've had to delay release because of COVID. But yeah, but all the other seasons are available on Hulu or whatever. And that's something that's usually on our TV at some point during the day, even if it's background noise. We have our favorites that we always go to. Like obviously one of my favorites is Charlie McDennis. Or the Gang Beats Boggs is one of my all-time favorite episodes. So
Oh my gosh. It's so good. Now we're going back to this for a minute, but this is a good interesting thing that I'm sure everyone would like to know. Like before you go to bed, do you and your husband watch a series or a movie or no TV before bed? Tell us your end of the day kind of experience.
so lately we've been watching Veep, and so we've been sleeping
Oh,
on that show, and it is hilarious. I mean, obviously a little homage to Seinfeld with Julia Louis-Dreyfus, but
yeah.
she is
Yeah.
hilarious in that show. So I think what season are we in? 4?
Five, I think.
5. So I mean, we've been burning through this ever since we got HBO. So Veep is an amazing, hilarious show, and it's funny because there's a lot of similarities to what's currently going on in our American political arena. So
Yeah.
there's a lot to take from it, but it's also really good. But we usually do, when we're done with the day, we usually find something to watch, even if it's only for an hour, because it's our bonding time, it's our cuddle time on the couch. So yeah, we usually do
I love it.
something every day. So yeah.
And you're usually in bed by what time?
Ugh. Well, I'm in bed usually by 9. I don't fall asleep until about noon because I have a really bad habit of surfing TikTok. I'm going to admit it. It's a
Did you
horrible,
say
horrible,
noon?
horrible.
Midnight.
I meant midnight. I meant midnight.
I love that.
Or I've only had one of
She's like,
these.
I'm not usually falling asleep until noon.
There's been days like that though where I can't fall asleep.
There's been days
but
like
usually,
that. Hey,
yeah, but I usually fall
maybe
asleep
all
about
have
midnight.
days. Listen, Leora, maybe all have days where we can stay in bed from 9 till noon the next day.
Mm.
Please listen to me, people. I'm not kidding. I promise you, it is the greatest experience of your life if you stay in bed from the time you go to sleep to when you wake up to past noon. Do it. If you have kids, send them to your grandparents. Stay in bed, cook breakfast, eat it in bed, snack in bed, whatever it takes. What an experience. Have you done that before?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I've done
Oh,
it. I probably do it once a week. It's usually on the weekend,
oh, it's the
but
greatest
yeah.
experience.
It is. It is. Usually
Most
my
people,
kid will jump in bed with me and we'll watch something on TV while we just hang out in bed. We've had days where we just do that. We have a sleepover and then we just spend all day watching movies and eating snacks in bed. It's just the best thing ever. No responsibilities, just chilling and watching
love it.
stupid stuff on TV. Yep. Need
Well, let me
to
ask you.
do one of those. It's been a while.
There you go. Hey, there you go. This is a reminder for you to do that. Let me ask you a few quick questions. This is going to be rapid fire type of stuff.
Ooh,
So
okay.
I love this. I love this question. It's one of my favorites to get to know about people with a quick answer. Are you, and you kind of answered this, but let's make sure we get it right. Night owl or early bird?
Night owl.
What is your favorite emoji?
The poop emoji. I'm a
We love it.
professional. I am a professional.
You're a professional.
Oh
Okay, ready? Sour gummies or regular gummies?
Regular gummies. Yuck.
Mm. Um, Now, I don't know if you're into this, but let's find out. If you had a choice to ride a dirt bike or a four-wheeler,
Oh, four-wheeler. Rode 'em when I
all
was
day,
growing up.
right?
All day.
Me too. I'm with you. Movie or series?
Movie.
I know. This is a tough one.
Movie. It depends on the genre, but I'll go with movie.
Milk chocolate or dark chocolate?
Milk.
Okay, so if I ask you about vanilla ice cream or chocolate, you're going with vanilla?
Yeah, I'm going with vanilla.
Okay.
I'm not a big chocolate fan, actually. Not really.
Me neither. Me neither.
Yeah.
My wife, on the other hand, though, is like, hey, if it ain't chocolate, I'm not eating it, right? Like, and she loves the chocolate part. And if it's milk chocolate, she's like, that's not even real chocolate.
That's true.
That's fake chocolate.
I know.
Real
It's
chocolate
mostly
is dark
sugar.
chocolate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
This is perfect. So we have to ask this question because this is a question that's come up in every single episode. So we must know: pineapples on pizza, yes or no?
Hell yes, all day, every day. And anybody who wants to say otherwise can fight me. Pineapple on pizza is
Yes.
amazing. My
Take
husband's
that.
giving me dirty looks.
So it's a split family, by the
It
way.
is a split
Okay.
family. It is. It is. So at least I know if
I
I
love
get pineapple on my pizza, nobody will eat it. So, but
it's
me,
all
that's my
yours.
pizza.
It's
Exactly.
perfect. I'm like, we're gonna take two pizzas. We're gonna take a Hawaiian, and we're gonna take whatever they want.
Mhm. Exactly.
So listen, I want to take this time to. I heard some news, and I want you to share it here with everyone. Now, obviously, we know this episode may come out after the news really hits the
Mhm.
wave, but I want this to be the place you announce it. I heard you're making a move. Tell us where you're going.
I am making a move. So I've been given an amazing opportunity to work with some people that I admire very, very deeply. And so effective October 1st, which will obviously be before this episode comes out, I will be the
Yeah.
new Senior Vice President of Wholesale Operations for Equity Prime Mortgage. So I get to work with Eddie Perez, I get to work with Jason Frazier, and a couple other people that have not been announced yet that I'm super excited to be working for.
Oh, that's
I,
so cool.
I've been on the outside looking into the broker movement. So to be able to actually participate in an active way, I'm super excited about it. It's an amazing, I've been following the broker movement since wholesale lending became a thing, back in
Yeah.
2017. So to actually be on the good side, I always felt like I was on the bad side. So to be on the good side and to actually help brokers, I'm super excited about it, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what we can do with the operations. So yeah, I'm nervous, but I'm also incredibly excited. So
Listen,
yeah.
I know the industry, the brokers of this industry are happy and excited to hear that because you're a person that really dedicates themselves to making an impact. You're not just there to be like, hey, check in the box, I'll check this box. No, you're someone since the moment I met you wants to push things past people's expectations. That's who you are, and I love that about you. You're just in general. And so the fact that you're going in and working with Eddie Perez, which is just a legend in the industry, and his entire team, which we love, by the way, they're great clients of ours. We love them to death. And so to see you join that team, it puts a smile on my face. When I heard about it, I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm so excited to talk to you about it. So that's awesome. And look, we will end this thing with my favorite question of all time. What are you planning to do for the rest of the day?
What am I planning to do for the rest of the day? Eat dinner and watch more Veep, and go for a walk with my daughter because we go for walks every night. So yeah.
In your neighborhood, is there a neighborhood you go in, or do you go to a
Yeah,
park?
so we live in a brand new house. in a brand new subdivision, so it's very quiet and very safe. I do my walks every morning. I'm now jogging as well. I've already lost almost 40 pounds since the beginning of the summer. So I do the hardcore stuff in the morning because I can't get my daughter out of bed. But then her and I do more of a leisurely walk every single night. It gives us a chance to catch up on the day. She's going to be turning 13 on Saturday, so she's got a lot going on with the whole pandemic and remote learning. So that's our time to connect every single day. And it's something I really look forward to.
That's so awesome. Well, listen,
Yeah.
I love this time we spent together. Enjoy the rest of your evening. I love what you have in store for yourself. Tell your husband, thank you for participating.
I
And
will.
I will talk to you soon. Thank you so much for being a part of
No
this.
problem. Thanks for having me.